While you were sleeping last night, 11 essential items quietly disappeared from grocery store shelves across America. You probably didn't notice. Most people won't until it's too late. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 11 crucial grocery items vanishing under the radar right now. I'll explain the hidden supply chain vulnerabilities causing these shortages and show you the practical steps you can take to secure these items before panic buying hits. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which items to prioritize, why they're disappearing, and how to build your stockpile strategically without emptying your wallet or triggering panic. Welcome to Pantry Guard, where we cut through the noise and give you the facts about food security. If you want to stay ahead of shortages and protect your family, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our updates. Remember the empty shelves during the height of the pandemic? Those images are still fresh in everyone's memory. But here's what most people don't realize. Those days aren't over. The problem has just changed form. Instead of everything being out of stock at once, we're now seeing something far more insidious, precise, sporadic shortages. It's not chaos across every aisle anymore. It's 11 specific categories vanishing quietly, masking the real risk beneath a surface that looks mostly normal. Industry insiders are seeing what the average shopper misses. Grocery managers and supply chain professionals are watching restock dates simply evaporate for certain product lines. Entire sections sit empty for weeks, and when frontline workers ask corporate for answers, they get nothing but silence. This opacity makes it incredibly easy for the public to miss the warning signs until it's too late. Here's the critical question. Why is spotty actually more dangerous than absolutely empty? Because it creates a false sense of security. When shelves are completely bare, everyone notices, everyone reacts. But when items come and go, available one week, gone the next, back for a moment, then vanished again, people assume it's just a temporary glitch. They tell themselves it'll be back next time. This disruptive cycle is precisely what makes the situation so dangerous. By the time the mainstream media finally catches on, when these shortages make headlines and evening news broadcasts, something predictable happens. Panic buying sets in. And when that happens, these products don't disappear over days or weeks. They vanish within hours. The only real defense is preparing quietly before the masses react. And that's exactly what we're going to help you do today. So what are these 11 items? We're talking about products that serve dual purposes, essential for your personal use, but also holding tremendous value as potential barter goods if supply chains deteriorate further. These aren't luxury items or specialty products. They're fundamentals that most people already use, which is exactly why their disappearance will hit so hard. Let's dive into each one, understand why it's at risk, and learn what you need to do about it. Let's start with the foundation, items that are absolutely crucial for preservation and long-term storage. First up, canning lids. I know what you're thinking. Canning lids sound boring. They seem insignificant. But stay with me, because these small metal discs hold immense value for both home preservation and barter. Here's what most people don't know. The canning industry operates on machinery dating back to the 1970s. We're talking about equipment that's nearly 50 years old, with parts that are no longer manufactured anywhere in the world. Manufacturers are literally forced to cobble together custom solutions just to keep their production lines running. During peak canning season last year, we saw 3 solid months of completely empty shelves. Consumers who desperately needed them were forced to pay exorbitant prices online when they could find them at all. And the situation has only gotten worse since then. Farm supply stores that used to stock hundreds of boxes now have a handful at best. Often they have none at all. Even if you don't can food regularly, canning lids have incredible value. They're perfect for resealing jars for dry storage of flour, rice, beans, and other staples. They can be reused repeatedly for this purpose. They're almost weightless, making them incredibly compact and easy to store. And in a scenario where supply chains falter even further, they become premium barter items because of their long-term utility. Next, let's talk about salt. Most people think of salt as just a seasoning, something to make food taste better. But salt is much more than that. It's an original survival currency. There's a reason Roman soldiers were paid in salt. That's literally where we get the word salary. In a future where modern logistics falter, salt could once again become the difference between thriving and perishing. Salt is essential to human physiology. Your body cannot function without sodium. It's non-negotiable. Salt preserves meat and vegetables for months without any refrigeration. It replaces lost electrolytes during physical labor, preventing heat exhaustion when you need your strength most. Here's the critical mistake most people make. They vastly underestimate how much salt to store. They think in terms of ounces, or maybe.
For true security, you need to think in terms of many pounds, not just a container or two. The beautiful thing about salt, stored correctly, it never spoils. Never. And given its incredibly low cost relative to its utility, there's absolutely no reason not to build a substantial stockpile. It's also an excellent barter item because everyone needs it and everyone understands its value. The third foundation item is white vinegar, plain, unremarkable white vinegar that sits on supermarket shelves looking completely ordinary. But this miracle liquid plays a critical role in survival and sanitation. Vinegar production depends heavily on corn, which is currently under enormous pressure from extreme weather events and competition from other industries, most notably ethanol fuel production. Because of this, vinegar shelves can switch from abundant to completely empty within days. We've witnessed this pattern across several states already. The versatility of white vinegar cannot be overstated. It preserves vegetables without refrigeration through pickling. It cleans and disinfects surfaces, killing bacteria and viruses. It removes odors from laundry when detergent is scarce. And here's one that could literally save lives. It improves marginal water quality through acidification, which becomes especially important during water advisories or emergencies. Vinegar never expires, ever. Its value in an emergency or barter economy could be immense. A modest investment in vinegar today could mean preserved food, improved safety, and serious trade value tomorrow. Now let's move into cooking and nutrition essentials, items that might seem ordinary but are facing serious supply disruptions. Black pepper. It's sitting on your table right now, isn't it? Behind that simple shaker sits a global story that most people have no idea about. 35% of the world's black pepper comes from Vietnam, which is currently battling the worst drought in 30 years. Yields are down dramatically. And here's the critical detail that makes this a long-term problem. Pepper vines take several years to mature. That means today's weather conditions will shape supplies far into the future. This isn't a problem that gets fixed next season. But black pepper isn't just a flavoring agent, it's a pivotal preservative, especially when refrigeration becomes unreliable. Kitchen tests have demonstrated that black pepper can extend the shelf life of meats by months, making it an invaluable asset when other preservation methods fail. Whole peppercorns, bought in bulk and stored in airtight containers, last virtually forever. They pack immense value per dollar, both for personal use and potential trade. This is one of those items where spending a little money now could pay enormous dividends later. Cooking oil is next, and this is one people really underestimate. Vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, these enter nearly every meal most Americans cook, yet they're among the most supply chain stressed household items out there. Cooking oils are vulnerable to crop failures. They require complex refining processes that depend on functioning infrastructure, and they have relatively short shelf lives, especially after opening. All of these factors combine to create a fragile supply situation. Here's your strategy. Buy in smaller bottles that you'll actually use. Store unopened bottles in cool, dark places. Rotate your stock so nothing goes rancid. And here's a pro tip. Mixing in vitamin E capsules can prolong shelf life significantly. Why does this matter so much? Oil is calorie-dense, which becomes crucial in a food-short world. Your body needs those calories to function, especially if you're doing physical labor. Beyond nutrition, oil enhances the morale-boosting quality of food. There's a psychological difference between dry, plain food and food cooked with a bit of oil. In hard times, that psychological boost matters more than most people realize. Yeast gave us a preview during the early pandemic months. Remember trying to find yeast? It vanished for half a year, and that was just from a surge in home baking. That was people making banana bread and trying sourdough for fun. In a true crisis requiring home food production, yeast could disappear permanently. And that's a serious problem, because yeast provides capabilities that go beyond just making bread rise. Bread serves as both a morale booster and a food stretching tool. You can make a little bit of flour go a very long way with yeast. Yeast also gives you the ability to create alcohol for disinfectant purposes, and yes, for barter as well. Yeast is easy to store. Freeze unopened packets and they'll last for years. But here's an even better strategy. Learn to maintain a sourdough starter. This captures wild yeast from your environment, giving you a perpetual, self-renewing supply of leavening power. Modern yeast production is highly concentrated in just a few facilities. Any problem at those facilities causes instant, widespread shortage. Don't wait for that to happen. Stock up now and learn the skills to culture your own. Finally, let's talk about instant coffee. Yes, instant coffee. I can hear some of you scoffing already, dismissing it as inferior to fresh ground beans. But in a crisis, instant coffee becomes liquid gold. The psychology and practicality of caffeine in crisis situations.
Morale and alertness are just as important as calories when you're under stress. Instant coffee, despite being dismissed by coffee snobs, lasts literally decades in sealed jars, far, far longer than whole or ground beans. It requires no special equipment to brew, just hot water, and its trade value is extraordinary. In wartime Bosnia, instant coffee was worth more than cigarettes as a barter item. Think about that. Beyond drinking, coffee has creative uses. It can flavor stews, meats, and chili, adding depth and richness. You can stretch your supplies by mixing it with alternatives like chicory or roasted dandelion root. And in times of genuine stress, even a poor cup of coffee provides a psychological boost worth far more than its minimal cost. Now we need to talk about multi-purpose tools and safety items, the things that serve so many functions you can't afford to be without them. Baking soda, another item that seems completely mundane until you understand its full potential. Stories from Argentina's 2001 financial collapse reveal that baking soda became a surprisingly high-value trade good. Why? Because its uses are nearly endless. It neutralizes stomach acid and treats insect bites and stings. It cleans teeth and prevents dental crises when you can't get to a dentist. It deodorizes living areas when sanitation becomes challenging. It extinguishes grease fires where water would make things worse. And it leavens bread when yeast is unavailable. Here's what you need to know about supply. Baking soda is mined from a mineral called trona, found mainly in Wyoming. These mines aren't expanding. Demand is up, production is flat, and prices have already surged significantly. This is an item to buy in bulk, store in airtight containers, and rely on for multiple purposes. Whether for personal need, barter, or emergencies, baking soda delivers value far beyond its humble appearance. Bleach is indispensable, but you need to be smart about it. Go for plain, unscented chlorine bleach. Nothing fancy, no added fragrances or cleaning agents. The uses are critical. 8 drops of bleach per gallon makes contaminated water safe to drink. That's potentially life-saving information. Bleach kills disease on surfaces, tools, and laundry, preventing the spread of illness when medical care might be unavailable or overwhelmed. In past disasters, bleach was consistently one of the primary traded commodities because everyone needs it and everyone understands what it does. But here's the crucial detail about bleach. It loses its potency after 6 to 12 months. This means you cannot bulk buy for years and expect it to work when you need it. Instead, you need to rotate your stock. Keep about 6 gallons on hand and replace them every 6 months. This ensures you always have fresh, effective bleach. Store it cool and dark, and always keep it in the original containers. Never transfer bleach to other bottles. It can react with different plastics and lose effectiveness or even become dangerous. Matches seem almost comically simple, don't they? Strike a match, get fire. What could be complicated about that? But the supply situation tells a different story. Match production is centralized in old facilities, some of which have closed entire sections due to irreparable equipment breakdowns. This has slashed supply by nearly a third virtually overnight, and regulations on ingredients like red phosphorus and sulfur may cut production even further in coming years. Here's why matches beat lighters for long-term preparedness. Lighters break, their mechanical parts fail, their fuel runs out. Matches, especially waterproof and strike anywhere types, work in virtually any conditions and require zero maintenance. They're cheap, they're incredibly easy to store, and they will be vital for heating, cooking, and maintaining morale if the electrical grid goes down or fuel becomes unavailable. Stock up on waterproof matches and strike anywhere matches while they're still readily available. Batteries are the power backup you'll miss most when they're gone. We've become so dependent on battery-powered devices that we barely think about them until they're unavailable. Production and raw material extraction for batteries is concentrated in just a handful of countries, and those supply chains are facing escalating shortages and dramatic price surges. Classic alkaline AA and AAA batteries hold their charge for up to 10 years, making them far preferable to rechargeable batteries for emergency stockpiling. Rechargeables self-drain while sitting in storage, which defeats the purpose of having them for emergencies. Here's your strategy for building a battery stockpile. Do it slowly and painlessly. Add 1 pack to your cart on every single store visit. It adds up quickly without straining your budget. Keep batteries cool and dry, avoid heat exposure, and check them yearly for leaks. In a true blackout scenario, batteries become both a lifeline for flashlights, radios, and essential devices, and a valuable currency for trade. So you understand what's at risk and why. Now let's talk about what you actually need to do. How do you take action without contributing to the panic, without breaking the bank, and without turning your home into a warehouse? First, abandon the idea of buying out stores overnight. That approach backfires spectacularly. Hoarding triggers exactly the panic everyone
makes you the villain in other people's stories, and it draws attention you don't want. Instead, adopt the 3 items per trip method. Every time you go grocery shopping, add 3 items from this list to your cart. Just 3. It doesn't strain your budget, it doesn't draw attention, it doesn't clear shelves. But over the course of a few months, it builds a substantial stockpile through simple habit rather than crisis-driven urgency. Many trusted preparedness resources and blogs offer free, pragmatic shopping blueprints focused on essential calories and nutrition. Find one that resonates with you and follow it systematically. Building your stock by habit rather than crisis is the sustainable approach. Storage matters just as much as acquisition. You can buy all the right items, but if you store them incorrectly, you're wasting money and effort. The golden rule is cool, dark, and dry. Most items follow this principle. Use airtight containers for powders like baking soda to prevent moisture absorption and clumping. Keep chemicals like bleach and vinegar in their original jugs. They're designed for safe storage of those specific substances. Implement rotation schedules for items with shorter shelf lives. Bleach, opened oils, and yeast, unless frozen, these need to be used and replaced regularly. Write purchase dates on items so you know what needs rotating first. But here's something crucial that many people miss. Stockpiling is only half the battle. Knowledge multiplies your security exponentially. You need to learn how to actually use these items for their intended purposes. Learn meat curing techniques. Start and maintain a sourdough culture. Master basic pickling for vegetables. Understand how to purify water with bleach. Experiment with making solar batch cookers. Skills paired with resources create true resilience. Resources alone can run out or be lost. Skills stay with you forever and can be taught to others, multiplying their value across your family and community. The timing advantage cannot be emphasized enough. The safe route is never waiting until items appear on the evening news before you act. By then, you're too late. Stores empty within a day, prices skyrocket beyond what most families can afford, the window closes almost instantly. Knowing what to stockpile and why means you dodge the panic, protect your budget, and safeguard your family's well-being while others are left scrambling and desperate. Being informed is not being paranoid, it's being prudent. Disruptions are here to stay, whether they come from weather events, supply chain breakdowns, regulatory changes, or economic pressures. Each of these 11 items offers not just practical utility for your household, but potential as barter goods, morale boosters, and genuine lifesavers in hard times. Uncertainty doesn't mean helplessness. By quietly and steadily preparing for potential shortages, you minimize stress, you avoid panic, and you build a safety net that could make all the difference when others are left completely unprepared. Start with the basics, make strategic additions from these 11 essentials, and spread the word to friends and family who matter to you. True readiness is proactive, not reactive. Take these steps today and sleep better tonight knowing you're prepared for whatever tomorrow brings. If this video opened your eyes to what's really happening in grocery supply chains, smash that like button and subscribe to Pantry Guard. Drop a comment telling us which of these 11 items you're prioritizing first. Stay prepared, stay ahead, and we'll see